Mitt Romney Day in America. JD here, Wednesday, 25th of April. Good to have you on board. We do thank you, as always, for taking some of your time to spend it with us here on the program, where we like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, and our politics a little messy. Marcelo working at Dials, Brad producing the program. You can send the emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. And the poll question that we have up for you today, in an effort to buy the votes of younger Americans, both Obama and Romney advocate keeping the $1 trillion student loan market interest rate at 3.4%. It's scheduled to rise to 6.8% July 1st. It's going to cost us, the taxpayers, $5.9 billion a year. What do you say? 13% of you say, keep it low, it's only fair. Nobody says those poor, poor children. 31% say raise it, that was the deal. 16% say Obama, Romney, no different. And 41% say, I want these kids to mow my lawn. You can answer it there at the website or here at 800-876-4123. I love when the cynics and the boo birds come out. Yeah, I'm going to be subsidizing your student loans. Come mow my lawn, clean my pool, paint my house. How about a little something for the taxpayer effort? Mitt Romney. What was his speech last night? Well, he said it's a new night, new dawn, something's new in America. What's new?
Yeah, what's new?
What's new? Exactly. What's new? Let's look at the results, shall we? In the big Tuesday primaries for the Republican nomination. Delaware, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York. Romney, 5 of 5 first-place finishes. Ron Paul, 3 of 5 second-place finishes. Newt Gingrich, 1 of 5 second-place finishes. And the social issue suck-up Ricky Santorum, 4 of 5 last-place finishes. And even in his home state of Pennsylvania, where he lost by 18 points in his last go-around as senator, his home state he lost to Mitt Romney by 40 points. Now, Brad's point on that point was that, well, he dropped out of the race, so why would he do any better? Well, he may have dropped out of the race, but a lot of other people dropped Ron Paul out of the race before Ron Paul even would contemplate getting out of the race. And Ron Paul managed to get 3 of 5 second-place finishes with pretty good numbers in Rhode Island, 24%, 14% in Connecticut, 16% in New York, ahead of Gingrich and Santorum. Ron Paul ahead of Gingrich and Santorum in Connecticut. Ron Paul ahead of Gingrich and Santorum in Rhode Island. And some marginal showings in Delaware and Pennsylvania. But he only lost to Ricky Santorum by 5 points in Pennsylvania. Ron Paul. I got an email here about my, supposed bashing of Mitt Romney. It comes from Bill in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He said, Jerry, like you, Ron Paul is a favorite of mine. However, he isn't going to be the candidate. So I ask that you suck it up and quit bath-mouthing Mitt Romney. Continue to support Senator Paul, but your railing against Romney makes you look rather small. Does it really? It makes me look small if I continue to back the guy that I endorsed back in December, the only nationally syndicated talk show host to do so. Other talk show hosts endorsed Rick Santorum, 999 Herman Cain, the Texas idiot, Oops, himself, Rick Perry, Rick Santorum, the list goes on. But now I'm seeing all of them suddenly have this epiphany that, well, the guy that I was behind, whether they had the guts to say so or not, but you could tell informally when they were, even though they wouldn't say it, because they want to be around to say, well, I've always supported Mitt Romney. You know, I questioned him and I challenged him and I pushed him and I think that that kind of made him a stronger candidate. Really? Hey, Bill in Michigan, if Ron Paul is your favorite, why would you turn on your favorite? Why wouldn't you push for your favorite? Why wouldn't you back your favorite? Why would you back away? Because you want to be relevant? Is that it? You want to be a player? You want to be in the game? And that's the game, folks. I'm watching Ed Rollins and Karl Rove and all the other Republican tools out there that are now coming forward with the heaping praises of Mitt Romney. Did you see his speech last night? I think it was the best speech, the best political speech of his 6 years in his attempt to become the president of the United States. Mitt Romney hit it out of the ballpark. Mitt Romney struck all the right tones. Mitt Romney this, Mitt Romney that. The same guy who was the well-lubricated weather vane who would blow wherever the winds of directional change took him. Rudy Giuliani. The worst guy you could have is Mitt Romney. Now, endorsing Mitt Romney. Why? Because Mitt Romney's changed? No, because what's changed is Mitt Romney's the nominee, the Romney. And these people just want to remain relevant. They have no core convictions. They have no principles. They have no belief in real change. The only thing they want to be is relevant. They want to be in the game. Now, Bill in Michigan goes on to say that, well, the election is important to the United States, and getting rid of the D.C. crowd is most important. Really? If you want to get rid of the D.C. crowd, why would you go with Mitt, the establishment, as opposed to Ron Paul, the movement? He said, we need a moral businessman. Romney fits the bill. Okay. Moral businessman? Let's see how that gets played out by the Democrats. And he said it would be nice to have Ron Paul as an advisor, and he thinks that that's a possibility. And he puts a P.S. in his email. He said, I have my hands full here trying to get rid of Stabenow. That would be Debbie Stabenow. I emailed him back. Maybe part of your problem with Stabenow is that too many people, quote, sucked it up for her. Nothing changes without a little discomfort. Will survive the necessary upheaval. But now everybody's on board with the Mittster. Everybody's down with Mitt. Everybody who beat Mitt, oh, well, you see, that's just the process of the primary. You know, sometimes you say things, or you're forced to say things, or maybe people misquote you or take things out of context. No, Mitt Romney was not the guy. He was never the guy. Because the guy was Rick Perry. The guy was Herman Cain. The guy was John Huntsman. Well, to few, not to many. The gal was Michelle Bachmann. The guy was Newt Gingrich. The guy was Rick Santorum. It was anybody but Romney. The conservative alternative to Romney, and now all the conservatives, supposed conservatives, the fake conservatives, the Republican suck-ups are all circling the wagon for the guy that they think is best positioned to beat Barack Obama. It's pathetic, folks. There is no conviction out there. These people have no spines. You want to talk about a well-lubricated weather vane that's going to just go in whatever direction the winds are blowing? It's because they want to be around the seat of power. They want to be a player. They want to be relevant. They want to make sure they get their speaking fees. They want to make sure they sell books. They want to make sure that people faint at the sight of them walking amongst we the little people, because now they're all behind Mitt Romney because he's the guy. He was never the guy. He's not the guy, and he's the guy who's going to lose to Obama in November of this year because there's no enthusiasm for Mitt Romney. And now Mitt Romney, this staunch conservative, this leader of the conservative movement, is following Barack Obama around the country, trying to buy the votes of college students by agreeing with Obama that we need to keep interest rates low on student loans. We need to cost the taxpayers $5.9 billion a year. Mitt Romney saying, wow, these poor kids coming into an environment where it's never been harder to get a job, saddled with this debt. Millions of students and their parents grappling with cost at a time when debt has grown so staggering it exceeds the totals for credit cards or auto loans. That's Mitt Romney, the conservative? Are you kidding me? A contract is a contract. You signed the loan documents. You took out the loan. You got the education. If you bailed on your education and you still got the loan, too bad. A deal is a deal. The Democrats decided to cut the interest rate on the student loans back in 2007 from 6.8 to 3.4. It's supposed to reset this July 1st. Whorehouse Harry Reid introduced legislation yesterday to keep the interest rate low for the poorer and middle-class students at the current level for another year at a cost of $5.9 billion. Now, true conservative activists have denounced Mitt Romney's decision to match Obama's position on student loan rates. Michael Dougherty, in a blog at Free Republic, said Mitt Romney is going to sell out conservatives in his party to improve his chances in the November election, end quote. Yeah, but Jerry, if he doesn't match Obama in his Great American Giveaway or in his attempts to buy votes, then how would he ever get to be the president so that he could get there and actually change the things? He has to kind of go along to get along. He has to kind of take one for the team. He has to kind of play the same kind of game, doesn't he? So that when he gets in the Oval Office and he sits behind that desk, then and only then will he actually embrace his conservative principles. And who gets screwed one more time? We, the taxpayers. One more time. The Republicans are all about, we can't do anything unless we figure out how to pay for it. We can't authorize any expenditures without finding offsetting cuts. We can't burden this next generation with debts that are unsustainable, and we can't leave this country in a less condition than we got it from the generation before us. But in an election year, $5.9 billion, even Mitch McConnell, the Senate minority leader, the Republican from Kentucky, he said, I don't think anybody believes this interest rate ought to be allowed to rise. The question is, how do you pay for it? How long do you do the extension? Really, Mitch? Really? The measure closes a loophole that lets owners of privately owned companies called S corporations avoid paying Social Security and Medicare. Incomes of more than $250,000 for S corporations. That's how they want to pay for it. Higher payroll taxes required for law firms, doctors' practices, and other professional services partnerships. So now we're going to tax S corps, which are typically small businesses that transfer the bottom line, profit or loss, over to their 1040. So we're going to pass along a tax increase. The Republicans are on board with a tax increase so that there's no increase in the interest that kids have to pay on their student loans. That's Mitt Romney. That's Barack Obama. That's the status quo. That's the future. Deal with it.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
I'm not moving off my guy, Ron Paul. I'm not going to back Mitt, the establishment. I'm going with Ron Paul and the movement. 800-876-4123.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.